Live from New York, planet Earth, this known universe, is Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, we're broadcasting from the Milky Way. No, it's
no, that's true.
Well, we are. It's me, Lady Ada. We're here at the Adafruit factory in downtown Manhattan.
That's right.
North America, you know, America, North America, Earth, Western spiral arm of the galaxy, whatever.
Yeah.
With me is Phil.
Hello.
Basically same location, just like 3 feet to the left.
Yep.
We've got an exciting show. We've got all sorts of engineering. We've got projects. We've got tons of cool videos. We got spiky, glowy stuff. I don't know. It's just totally awesome.
This is a big show tonight.
I'm very excited. We had an awesome show and tell. So tell them what's on tonight's show, and then we'll start the show.
On tonight's show, the code is CyberGoth. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. The code is CyberGoth.
Are you CyberGoth? We are.
Yeah. Just a reminder, we take Bitcoins. We'll talk about that. If you got Bitcoins, you got to use them, folks.
And they're CyberGoth, so now's a good time.
Yeah. We'll talk about the show and tell. We had an amazing lineup of participants showing off their projects and more. We will talk about what's going on with Radio Shack. Big news in the Radio Shack world this week.
Ooh, new logo.
Yep. Lady Ada was on NPR Women's in Tech Day. We'll talk about her day as an engineer and more.
Nipperwit.
Yep. Mailbag.
Mailbag.
Pack the mailbags in stuff live. We're going to read some mail. We've got Nimbus, the cloud entity from Internet of Things. Going to talk about a project. We got some news from the Kegmatic. Got some open source hardware news. Arduino news. Some tutorials from the Adafruit Learning System. Time Travel Tuesday. Wearable electronics. We've got 3D printing. Pi Day. New products. We'll answer your questions. We'll show some top secret stuff. We have a trivia question. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Bam. That's us.
Yeah.
We're going to do this thing?
Okay. So it's a
Look at us. It's on Wednesday.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I think everyone got it with they got the memo.
No, but we're awesome now on Wednesday. We're so rested and excited and having a good time.
The thing about the show change is we have the shows on Wednesday night, show and tell 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. PM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if I said we had to move 7:30 in the morning.
I'm not awake.
Yeah. And then
I'm still awake, but from the previous night.
And then 8 p.m. right now for Ask an Engineer.
Yeah.
So let's first start off with paying some bills, Lady Ada.
Okay.
The code is CyberGoth. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store that's in stock. Not gift certificates, not EagleCAD, not BeagleBones, because those sold out pretty fast today. So
BeagleBones are pretty CyberGoth.
Yeah. So that's something, if you want to buy stuff, take advantage of it now before midnight. Bitcoins, you know, we take Bitcoins. I take Bitcoin. Look at that. I got the spinny thing in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like at this point, if you're doing anything with Bitcoins, you're crazy. Yeah. So here's the thing. So we take Bitcoins. If you have them, you might want to use them. Looks like Bitcoin's stabilizing again. It's okay.
But what's it at now?
I think it was in 600s or something. Like it peak was at 1,000. That was during the holidays.
Okay.
And then like it goes up and down. There's all sorts of talks of.
Especially if you stole like $700 million of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And you just have like $700 million of Bitcoin hanging around. It's a good time to pick up some Arduinos, some starter kits, maybe some
Adafruit store is way better than Silk Road. Just saying.
It is.
It is. There's way more interesting things to do in the
If you do drugs, once you do them, they're gone. But electronics, you can like keep playing with electronics.
That's right. So
and it doesn't make you paranoid.
So we take them.
Twitchy.
Yeah. maybe if you stare at the LEDs too long. So
We'll grind your teeth.
yeah. So next up, gotta get rid of that. Okay. Next up is we have our free deal that's going on right now. So if you purchase $99 or more, you get what? What do you get, lady?
Perma Proto.
Yeah, you get a Perma Proto.
And it's free shipping.
Yeah. And $200 or more, you get free UPS ground.
Perma Proto is pretty cool though.
Yeah. So that is the free deals that we have this month. So you can combine these. You can use the code, and you can get the free Perma Proto, and you get free UPS ground shipping.
I knew it was a Perma Proto. I was just testing you.
Yeah, I know.
I keep forgetting it's not the PCB ruler, because the PCB ruler. We might bring that back.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also had free trinket for a while. Maybe we'll bring that back too.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff planned this year.
All sorts of stuff.
So, Lady Ada, we had a show and tell. Show and tells every week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People from around the world show and share their project. Participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. But what did people show this week?
Okay, well we got a nice list. Okay, we start off with David Ockley, who came by and showed off his 24-bar scanner. He uses our 24-bar bicolor bar graph display. I mean, it's just, bar. But it's a bar graph, and it's 24 bars long, and it can do red, yellow, green, and he made a little, like, scanner, which apparently was not only in the original Star Trek, but also in Next Generation. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Under the display screen.
The Star Trek's on the view screen.
On the view screen.
Usually, all of them, it's kind of a
Yeah,
Star
they
Trek.
have
You know,
little
like transporters. Like
yeah,
the
that.
screens go like this.
But I didn't know that was both New Generation and original, but apparently it is. So if you have like a little like display screen like this big where you look outside your spaceship, you might want to build this project. Justin Chuck came by and showed off his really big clock that he built. It's a cool clock. I think he uses NeoPixels. And he made it Bluetooth wirelessly programmable with our EasyLink module, and he said the EasyLink was awesome. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, so Justin is one of the more prolific makers, especially in the open source hardware world, and he was part of the Open Source Hardware Summit. So he's actually like someone like who really knows his stuff. And he bought the Bluefruit that we make. And he said it was just easy, it just worked.
He said it's like basically the same price as an FTDI cable, but it's wireless.
It just works. And so that's the thing we like to hear. And I had asked you a question right away. I said, how long did it take you to do this? Because how many months does it take to deliver an experience that just works? And you said it's 18 months you worked on the Bluefruit?
18 months long time.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was for him because he's plugged in and just worked.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So, that's cool.
Next up, we had Layla, who showed up with her really cool LED biometric shirt. It's a shirt that has like LEDs and like embroidered onto like a heart and then a lung and an esophagus, and it can show all the organs in her body. And when she breathes, it can actually detect when she's breathing, and her lungs light up with blue and white LEDs. And when her heart beats, her heart, which is like this LED piece here, pulses. So she's like, you can see how nervous she was. And then she can press a button to simulate eating, and you can see food going down her esophagus and into her stomach and then into her intestines. So she designed this wearable shirt for showing physiology and biology. So she wants to get this into kids so that they can see real-life physiology, demonstrated not just with like numbers, but actually like showing LEDs glowing. I thought it was a really cool project.
This is one of the coolest projects I've seen.
Yeah. She made it with NeoPixels and an Arduino Uno, but she wants to maybe make it the Flora
and watch the show and tell, because like when you a demonstration of like when you eat, it goes all the way down.
Yeah,
and it lights
it's cool.
Up. It's really
like her liver, it's like I'm activating.
It's really cool.
It was it was a very, very cool project. And what's neat is she made it so you can remove like the liver or like the prostate or like pancreas or whatever, or like esophagus, I guess, by using this magnetic system. And a lot of people want to make magnetic, they want to make magnetic electrical connections, but you can't because you can't solder to magnets. And this is like a big problem for wearables, because they're like, well, I want to make something that connects, but you can't do it magnetically. Like you can't solder to magnets with wire, and you can't solder to magnets either. So what she did is she wrapped some wire and then glued it onto a magnet, so that the magnets create the force that keeps it on her body, but the wires, the spins of wire, coils of wire, are what provide the electronic connectivity. Anyways, it is an incredibly cool project. I can't explain how cool it is. You have to see the video, so go watch the video. Paul B came by with his DDR2Go project. He's building a Bluetooth DDR pad that folds up so that he can like play DDR while he's waiting in traffic or at the airport or like it's the Starbucks line, wherever. He can play DDR using his Nexus tablet and this Bluetooth DDR to-go pad. It's super cool, folds up, and he made like a Velcro thing. It's really nice, and hopefully he's working on a tutorial. We also have Rick, who came by, and he built a cool LED moon jar or sun jar where it stores energy during the day and then lights up at night. And most people use a NiCad battery. And instead of using a NiCad battery, he said it only lasts like 1,000 recharges. Instead, he wants to use a super cap. So the cool thing about a super cap is that you can recharge it basically like infinite times, and it charges like very fast. And then with the huge super caps he was using, it's like 1,000 farads or something. He said he could get charged for like 20 or 30 hours of an LED. So pretty impressive, and he's using a chip to charge the super cap from a solar cell, and he even gave me the part number, so that's very handy.
That's interesting because the sun normally isn't associated with being able to charge anything fast, but in this way,
it can. I mean, if you use a big, what's neat about a super cap is that you can charge a super capacitor. I mean, you need to have a charge controller, but it's still much, much faster than the battery. I mean, if you can provide the current, you can charge them near instantly. But they don't hold as much charge per volume as a battery, so that's the trade-off. I mean, these super caps are like really big. And then finally, Patrick came by, and Patrick made a cool project with a NeoPixel ring, and the ring spins with color, and he can change the color and hue and spinning rate, and he controls it with a leap motion, which is a little desktop hand sensor, and it has cameras and IR LEDs, and it can map your hand. So he would twist his hand, and then the LEDs would twist around on the ring. So this is apparently really easy to use. The leap motion sensor uses like Java or JavaScript or Python or whatever your favorite Node, whatever your Haskell, and you can control an LED ring or whatever you want. So he's using sort of the XY tilt and skew data just to control like an Arduino project. So it's kind of interesting. I didn't know that you could easily connect electronics to Leap Motions. I thought that there was a gaming API, but I didn't know that there was you could control electronics with it.
Yeah, it was cool because when he showed it on the web camera, you could see the IR LEDs because webcams can see IR
Yeah, there's
LEDs.
3 IR LEDs and 2 cameras. So it's like a little mini Connect.
Okay.
Micro-Connect.
All participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker if you have a project and you want to share it with the world and meet other makers.
And get a sticker.
Show up.
Show off.
Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
Getting on the show and tell is super easy. Go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit. And find the thread where we say comment here to get added to our show and tell circle. And you can get added, and there's like 400 awesome people in that circle. And you will be part of this VIP club that will be invited. You get like bottle service. No, you get super capacitor service. Every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, you can join me. And him.
Yeah, I turn the dials and make sure the sound works. Okay, let's.
And show off your project.
Yeah, let's. We have a lot of stuff for the show tonight.
We're doing it.
Okay, so first up, welcome Stella to the Adafruit team. Every time we have someone who blogs on the site in addition to their job here, we have them put a little intro post. So Stella recently joined. She's a communication manager here at Adafruit. We are now like 67 people strong right now.
Are you a vendor? Are you late with your shipment? You know Stella.
Yeah. So she's joined the team, and she works with Molly and Roxanne and Mary. So welcome aboard, Stella. Next up, this was something I wanted to briefly mention. We put this on the blog. Keurig, who's known for their pretty
K-cup things.
Their little coffee thing.
Coffee things.
Their CEO said at a recent earnings call that they're indeed going to make so they're going to make their coffee products work so unlicensed pods don't work for their Keurig 2.0 expected to launch this fall. So we're talking about DRM and coffee, just like the printer cartridge people did this.
Printer cartridges have this, but there has been some hacks for printer cartridges. Although what's interesting is remember the Apple cables, the Apple iPhone 5 Lightning cables. They were hacked, and then they were hacked, and then the next version now they're no longer. I mean, they still work, but it says accessory not supported. It's kind of crazy. It's like a cable. Yeah.
So one of the cool things about this, one, it kind of sucks when companies say like we're going to make it so only our stuff works, and we're just going to box you in and do that. But on the other hand, when companies do that, hackers love it.
This is I can't wait to have the Nespresso fueled Keurig hacking.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen, and maybe someone can store this and replay it. So if they do this, there's going to be a hackathon that weekend.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are going to figure it out. They're going to reverse engineer it. They're going to publish it on GitHub. They're going to put it on Pastebin. They're going to make their own versions. And then they're going to do other interesting things like have it go on Wi-Fi and have it tweet and have it do all these crazy things. And we speak from experience because the Kinect was hacked. And
what I hope is what people like, there's probably some chip and then there's like a one-time, like not one time, but there's a challenge response authentication system, which is probably it's like the cheapest, easiest way to do it, which is can be a little annoying to hack, especially if they use a good chip. But it would be cool if somebody like 3D printed a pod cover that takes a different type of pod, but then has like that chip in there so that like you can still use it.
Yeah, and this is different. So when we did the Kinect hack and we published up the protocols and everything, the world was it was a couple of years ago. The world was different. There wasn't 3D printers everywhere. There wasn't so easy to get PCBs. There wasn't all these people doing electronics. There wasn't hackathons and hacker spaces and all this stuff going on constantly. So this is going to be fun. So on one hand, it's just like, oh man, what a drag. The CEO is kind of out of touch. They don't get it. On the other hand, it's like, you know what? Please do it because like it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Or you can just get one of those like French presses.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. If you are in a major city or if you're in some area of the country where Radio Shack has stores, you may notice two things. Number one, they changed their brand. This is what they call a rebrand in the biz.
I thought it was called RS now, not Radio Shack.
Well, no, that's not that they were thinking about that. But this is the new Radio Shack looking brand. And the news came down that they're closing over 1,000 stores. And they're moving their brand to do it together. They started going down the DIY, and then decided they're going to go down the do it together. And so this is a big deal in the world of makers because Radio Shack has toyed around with the idea of having lots of Arduinos and lots of maker stuff.
I mean, you can still get like some breadboards, soldering irons, and tools. I mean, they do have tools for makers.
They're
not bad tools either.
In the new rebranded Radio Shacks, which we saw this weekend walking around New York, it's turned into Dr. Dre Beats headphones, and it's turned into big stereo systems, and it's turned into all consumer electronics, no DIY.
Yeah.
So it's a little unclear what's going to happen to Radio Shack. And here's the thing that, this is a brief departure to the maker business section of our show sometimes, or even our site. So Radio Shack probably isn't the best home for DIY components. It's probably not in their best business interest to do that. That market is served by companies like Adafruit, by MakerShed, SparkFunds out there. All those things, because that's where you go for all that stuff, and you go online, and the stores are known for it, the customer service is known for it, the online stores. I
think here's the thing. So in the 70s, you could actually do a lot of. I mean, like the limit of electronics was what you could get at Radio Shack. Like they have like those drawers or whatever. Yeah. You could actually have like pretty much everything you'd want. All the TTL logic, a range of capacitors. Where you used to have like a resistor pack and a capacitor pack. And like a bunch of kits, and kind of anything you could do, you could get, because there just wasn't actually that much. I mean, like, it was all good stuff, but it's like, it's a lot of 555 timer projects, right? It's like a lot of Force Mims projects. Now, the available technologies to makers is massive, massive. I mean, I think like there's probably like 20 to 30,000 like hobbyist-friendly components that they can use, like every kind of screen and microcontrollers and launch pads and shields. And so you actually can't stock it anymore. There's like Raspberry Pi stuff, there's BeagleBoard stuff.
We have over 1,700 products, and
then we don't even have a lot of stuff. Like we're very focused.
We have like over 1,700, and you can do a lot of projects. And sometimes you still need to go to another online store.
We don't even have like robotics stuff.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think because a lot of people said, oh, why don't you guys do retail? And we said, we don't think Radio Shack is going to be a place where it makes sense because you have to do consignment and they want super low margins or they want super high margins, so we would get super low margins. So if we would have went down that path, we probably wouldn't be doing as well because we would have had to do a different type of Adafruit that could support some company that isn't doing that well. So they're closing like a quarter of their stores. And so we said, let's stay away from retail and let's focus on being the best online store, the best customer service, the best engineered products. And let's go that way. So
what's interesting is to see like there's other kit companies like Velleman that are still sold in Radio Shack and seeing, what's going to happen to those. Are they going to still be around?
Yeah.
Are they going to? I mean, like, I haven't heard a lot from Velleman, but like, it's tough when it's like that was their main way of getting to like retail customers. Also, Parallax had a lot of stuff in Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Parallax had a lot of stuff.
So that's the current state of like retail, and for the maker world, there's Micro Center. There's Radio Shack. Best Buy toyed around with it. They said publicly they wanted Arduinos, and then they quickly backed out of that. So Radio Shack's in the middle of a restructure. They actually have, people coming in trying to change the brand and do stuff. My personal opinion, Samsung should buy a 50% stake, rename the store Samsung RS, and Samsung. This is what they just spend boatloads of money.
And it's basically like the Samsung store.
They need to have something like the Apple store in
they
every city.
They have a range of products.
Yeah.
Well, there was the Samsung Experience
No, it's still
gallery.
here in Soho.
Yeah, the Soho.
Yeah.
There's like a Samsung store, and
that-
there's like they have free Keurig coffee there.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. That's the way I would do it, because that's the future, and there's a lot of real estate there. But the Radio Shacks are still franchise owned, so I think it's a little.
It's
harder.
hard, yeah.
I think
It's
a little
not
harder
like
to do it.
it's not a company-owned store. Their stores are owned by the individual who is franchising it, which makes it tough to like control.
All right. Next up, we've got a lot of stuff on the show tonight, so I'm just going to show a brief bit of Collins Lab. So last Friday we released the second Collins Lab. There was a huge hiatus. I worked with Colin at Mailbag.
I know, but he was like storing the labness.
Yes, and then after that, we did a bunch of stuff together here at Adafruit, and then it was time to revisit Colin's Lab. So I'm just gonna play the first 20 seconds or so, and make sure you watch this maybe
watch
after
the rest
show.
of it.
But here's a little preview of Colin's Lab, episode 2, I guess. Colin 2, yeah.
Circuit schematics are very nice things. All these components in a lovely two-dimensional world with perfect connections and ideal placement. Isn't that a nice idea? But eventually, we have to make them real. And in reality, a circuit usually exists on some type of circuit board, like, say, a breadboard, for example. Breadboards offer the most flexible way to assemble a circuit. Build it, change it, scrap it, all good. Breadboard don't mind at all. And that's because they don't require any soldering. Beneath all those holes, a breadboard houses an army of springy metal clips which hold component leads in place while providing electrical connections between them. Though you may want to avoid taking one apart. When we place a component on a breadboard.
All right, so that's just a taste of
a smidgen of Colin.
Of the latest. And this Sunday, Lady Ada, we're filming C is for Capacitor.
Is that what we're doing on Sunday?
Yep, that's what we're doing on Sunday.
We got a full-time Colin, because Colin's no longer working on the iOS app.
Yeah, we have an iOS app that's for Bluetooth Low Energy that'll probably be released soon.
Yeah,
we're waiting for Apple.
Wait for Apple.
Yeah. This week, Lady Ada, you took over NPR.
Yes.
So, NPR is doing a month-long Women in Tech series for their Tell Me More NPR show.
Yeah.
And so what you did is you tweeted throughout the day the life and times of an engineer in New York City. So let me narrate. You woke up and you decided to continue to work on one of your 9DOF boards, and this is your desk at home.
Yeah, this is my home desk.
And then you came in and it was the 11:30 fab meeting.
That's
this
right.
is the pick and place and the new stenciler. And here's some of the people in fab. There's Alicia and T and you. This is right after the fab meeting. And then you said, oh, I got some prototypes I got to work on. These are some prototypes that came in.
I got to prototype some stuff.
Yeah. And then once you get the prototypes, then you got to make them.
Yeah, this is me. Actually, this is me testing a production board that's about to go into production.
Yeah.
I build one by hand just to verify the last verification before we put it into the pick and place, because if it's wrong, I don't want to make 500 bad ones.
And then after that, you went back to EagleCAD. You were making more stuff.
I know, there's so much EagleCAD.
What is this? This looks like
this
some type
was
of,
the EasyLink shield, which we're
EasyLink
revising.
shield. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, they asked some questions. They said, what's a good resource for women in tech? And you said...
Horse and Hill.
Horowitz and Hill. So that was your.
It's a good reference, but it's not a book you want to read through. It doesn't work that way. You want to use it more as a reference, like when you want to look up.
It's a resource.
How to drive piezos or something. Look it up in the Horton Hill.
Yeah. Okay. So you did that this week. Next up, back in the mailbag, we get letters from people in the world. They send us emails and stuff. This week, this one comes from Hugo from France. Hi, Adafruit. I just want to thank everyone at Adafruit as I just purchased for the first time from your store, and I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this moment for more than a year now. I'm learning so much to all your great tutorials. Please don't bother answering this email. I know it takes time, and I already received great feedback from out a few days ago when I messed up a little bit with my account. So I know you guys care. The free pie is just wonderful for us ordering overseas and make up for fees. Not such a big deal anymore. Thanks. We love you. Hugo from France. Thanks, Hugo.
Thanks, Hugo.
Yeah, so this was a customer who sent us an email. Okay.
Thanks, Hugo.
Moving right along. Next up, this is Nimbus, our cloud entity. Every time we have an Internet of Things project that uses one of our cool CC3000 breakout board shields or more, this is a foosball table that uses Dweet.io and the CC3000, and when it scores, it'll tweet and it'll also light up.
Oh, yeah.
So very cool. Check it out. And speaking of Internet of Things, we have an update to the Kegomatic. Kegomatic is our kegs that tweet at Adafruit, and we have a little video I'm going to share.
Here's an update on our Adafruit Kegomatic project. As you saw before, we had one kegerator with birch beer, and now we have one kegerator full of regular beer. This one is a Lagunitas IPA. Each kegerator has its own flow meter, and they're hooked up to a single Raspberry Pi.
When you pour a drink, Adabot now shows up on the HDMI display to show you the outgoing tweet. You can also use the keyboard to enable or disable either flow meter when it's time to change the keg. I wrote all of the software for the Kegomatic in Python, and it's available on GitHub.
This is a team project here at Adafruit, and we've documented the whole build on the Adafruit Learning System. If you have any suggestions, please post them in the comments and subscribe to catch future updates on our Kegomatic.
Okay, next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. Lady Ada,
Yes.
there's some things going on open source hardware.
What's going on?
Our 4 weeks of BeagleBone Block contests are now over. We awarded the last round of winners.
Let's see 'em.
Here's just some of the projects that came in.
Ooh, this is a nice control pad.
Yeah, we had a control pad. This person had a Lego
With a cat.
case and a cat.
Some cat thing.
And this was a little
Radio.
Yeah, a little tuner thing. More LEDs.
Wow, that's a cool, like some SDR radio thing, LED driver board.
Yeah, and like this is just some of the ones
Whoa,
that we've
intense.
had from this
So
week
much.
and last week. And
Printers.
Lots of
Chips.
projects, lots of things.
Ooh, a little LED grid with a heart.
Yeah, and that was our, we gave away 40 BeagleBone Black cases. And today we had a small shipment of BeagleBone blocks that came in, and they sold out instantly.
Sorry, guys. They sold
So-
out like in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and there's lots of companies and people that email us, and some customers, so we don't take back orders, and this is one of the reasons. So the contract manufacturer that has the exclusive, which is Circuit Co., they have a lot of orders to fulfill. So on Mauser, they ordered 14,000. On other
We
sites,
ordered a couple thousand a while ago.
Everyone's ordered thousands, and they're just trying to get through the orders as fast as they can. So we got a couple hundred, and they sold out instantly. We don't take back orders because it's unknown when we'll get them next.
Yeah, we don't want to promise anything because we think it's going to be quite a bit.
So,
however, we have Raspberry Pis.
yeah, we have
Which are
Raspberry Pis.
Kind of similar.
Yeah. So next up, more news in the world of open source hardware. Arduino. 2 things.
Yeah.
First, this was Micro Monday. We do a series of blog posts
Oh, that's so cute.
with Arduino, and this uses a micro. This is Micro Monday, so check it out. The code is there on the Arduino blog, arduino.cc, and it uses the micro. This was in partnership with Arduino and Adafruit. Don't forget Arduino Day, March 29th, a worldwide event bringing together Arduino people and projects share the experience. Pound Arduino D14. This is Arduino Day 2014.
Not digital 14.
Nope, not digital pin 14.
No.
Next up, Adafruit Learning System. Lady Ada, we had 3 tutorials that we posted up in the last week. I would like you to briefly tell everybody what these, but keep brief, we gotta keep moving.
Okay, this is a tutorial for the Max 31850 one-wire K-type thermocouple amplifier that we put in the store last week. Yeah. It's a lovely little chip. You probably want to check out this tutorial to see how you can connect as many one-wire K-type thermocouple amplifiers as you want on a single data line. Wow, amazing! Check it out. We've got an Arduino library, wiring diagrams, all sorts of goodies for this great new thermocouple amp.
Okay, and what's this one?
This one is the HMC583L, which is a triple-axis magnetometer, which I will be demoing shortly. It's right here on the desk. If you would like to know, well, we released this on Friday, so we have a tutorial that goes with it. It's a very inexpensive compass sensor if you want to know which way is north. This sensor is pretty much the best sensor there is for doing compass measurements, magnetometer measurements.
First, and then what's this?
This is the Melexis non-contact sensor, which I'll also be demoing today. It is not a module we make. We buy this from Melexis, but it's a really cool sensor that can do non-contact temperature sensing. And it's an I2C device that you can connect with a microcontroller to read the ambient and object temperature. I'll show a demo, hopefully, if the demo doesn't catch on fire later this show. But we also have some code, wiring example. It's not as trivial as you may think to wire up because the diagram in the data sheet is backwards, very annoying. They took a photo from the bottom, not from the top.
Okay.
So we have an updated diagram which you should follow because otherwise you could destroy your sensor, to be sad.
Adafruit Learning System, the largest learning system electronics resource on site, 450 tutorials to learn and share and more. Check
Hopefully
it out.
with all correct diagrams this time.
Learn.adafruit.com. Okay, next
It's
up.
there.
Time Travel Tuesday. This is our weekly series. We go back in time, world of making, hacking, artists, scientists, engineers, cool people in tech, all sorts of milestones.
Are they space goth?
Sometimes.
Cyber goth, sorry, not space goth.
Yeah, well, I'll go to the code.
Okay.
But for now, this month, 1917, Jeanette Rankin of Montana becomes the first female member of the United States House of Representatives. She was the first one.
Okay.
Lots of firsts.
I may be the first woman member of Congress, but I won't be the last.
That's right. That is her quote.
That's a pretty good quote.
Yeah.
She looks pretty smart. She's like, yeah, I made it.
Yep.
I'm here.
Okay.
Making laws.
Fast forward to 2010. You're going to like this one. So we came up with this project called Tweetawatt, and right after, Google came up with this thing called Power Meter. And they did a press release. It was a Power Meter API, and they introduced it to device manufacturers, and everybody was contacting us about, like, will your Tweetawatt support Google Power Meter API? This is going to be the biggest thing. Every single Power Meter is going to be using Power Meter API. We went to events in New York City. There were startups built around this whole idea of this Power Meter API, and in the end, Google decided not to do it.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah. So, very interesting lesson learned. Now, flash forward, or fast forward, not flash forward. I guess because it's flash
You
forward.
can flash forward.
Yeah, fast forward, Google just bought Nest. And they finally got that thing. So the Power Meter thing that was very hard for them to do, they weren't ready for it. They were still, and maybe they never will be, and that's why they bought Nest, because they needed a bunch of connected devices to interact. But we eventually got our Tweetawatt to work with the Google App Engine, and then they retired that out. So a little bit of a Google chase with that one. All right. So
wild Google chase?
A wild Google chase.
Okay.
All right, next up. Wearables. Lots of cool things in the world of wearables.
World of wearables.
Yeah, it was Oscars week, and so of course someone made a cool graphic. And you know, at the Oscars, everyone says, "Oh, who are you wearing?" And then someone noticed that wearable electronics is becoming so popular. They said, "Oh, I'm wearing Fitbit, Qualcomm, Pebble, Arduino, and Adafruit."
Yeah.
And that's actually true. I wouldn't be surprised if NeoPixels are going to hit the red carpet. They hit the they hit the runway this year.
I think Bjork would definitely wear NeoPixels.
Actually,
or Katy Perry.
Yeah, Lady Gaga has some of our stuff for sure. The Bjork people do because they had emailed us.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to say Bjork.
Bjork.
Yeah. A couple other things in the world of wearables. We had our cosplay section.
Okay.
So more Dune.
It's a nice Chris knife.
Yeah. And the Dune costuming, we're kind of trying to get Dune to be a thing this year. So this is, I'm trying really hard.
I know.
So this is just, there was a Dune Comic-Con thing and people dressed up. Usually we have lots of interesting costumes that people see, but we also have the behind the scenes of how they're made.
Yeah.
So this one is how this costume is made, and this is the final result.
Yeah, this is a drought costume. This is incredible.
Yeah, this is intense. And then another one, I did not expect this. This is a Aquaman costume.
Aquaman!
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think Aquaman could be cool. This made Aquaman cool.
Aquaman is finally cool.
The pitchforky thing, the trident, glows. And
Yeah.
I believe it uses neopixels.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, it was finally Aquaman.
Yeah, it's cool. And next up in our kind of big release this week, if you watched Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, we have flexible Ninja Flex 3D printed stuff, and it has LEDs in it, and we did this amazing photo shoot. I keep joking that this looks like the cover to some science fiction novel. I think we settled on like this is going to be the next cover of Snow Crash.
I think Atira could make a really good Pris.
Like a Blade Runner type?
Yeah, like from Blade Runner. Like, don't you think she
Yeah.
kind of has a little bit of that, like, I'm a robot and I'm going to kill you?
She works
Yeah.
in fabrication, and this is the project that we launched this week. And I'll go to this here. Yeah, you can see this
You
is
see it,
flexible spikes. And Noah and Pedro, who work with us here at Adafruit, also made that. We're calling this
Like Crystal Punk.
well, we were calling it I think Cyber Dragon.
Cyber Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can wear this, you can do this, and it's really neat because they're spiky, but they're also soft. So
Yeah, these are like super soft and flexible. This is a great material. This Ninja Flex is totally the secret of wearable 3D printing.
Yeah. So this is why the code is CyberGoth.
Okay.
All right. So we're now on to 3D. Big data, 3D stuff.
Okay.
So this week,
Like this 3D printing thing? Okay.
yeah, that's 3D printed. Today on the Wearable Electronics Show, I've mentioned this a couple times because
Yeah.
I said this is the year that 3D printing really comes out of the workshop and the garages because you can do things with wearable electronics. You can 3D print enclosures. You can use Ninja Flex. You can put LEDs inside of it. You can get a low-cost microcontroller like a Trinket or a Gemma.
You can put more LEDs inside of it.
And you can finally do things that aren't just like printing like little plastic widgets that you maybe like you're just to, but I can 3D print,
Yeah.
but actually bring it out. Like this is something that you can wear and show, and
Yeah, this is neat.
this is really cool. So I think this is going to be a big deal. I think this is the year that you're going to see a lot of 3D printing stuff like that.
Okay.
So speaking of Google, we had mentioned them earlier in the show. They have, you've probably seen this, right? Google Glass?
Google Glass.
Yeah, what we did is we made our own prescription glasses adapter.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like, and you can do this. Now Google's since made it so you can get prescription glasses with Google Glass, but we decided to make a video and about all this, and I'm going to show it right now.
Okay.
Upgrade your Google Glass with your own frames using a 3D printed adapter. A new pair of Google Glass frames will set you back about $200, but we can 3D print an adapter for under $1. 3D printing a plastic adapter turns any frame into prescription Google Glasses. Using a T5 screwdriver, we can easily detach the frames from glass. Just remove this one screw next to the eye sensor, lightly pull out the right temple, and slide out the frame. Test fit the position of glass on your frames. Every frame is different, so you'll need to measure these two areas for a custom fit. Using 123D, we'll draw out a shape using our measurements and extrude it to create the first piece of our two-part mounting clip. A full tutorial is on the Adafruit Learning System. A link is in the description below. Our design features a structure that keeps Google Glass out of the line of sight and in a viewable angle. A lip on the edge of the clips keep the device held onto the frames. Your frames may need a similar structure, so you'll need to engineer your own features. So if you're a Google Glass explorer with prescription lenses, 3D printing an adapter really makes it your own. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit.
We're back.
Okay.
All right, so don't forget the code is CyberGoth, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store.
Including materials you need to make this CyberGoth
Yeah.
accessory.
Yeah, you know what we put in the store this week is a printer bot, but we'll get to that
Oh,
with
yeah.
new products soon. A couple more things I wanted to show and share, Lady Ada. We've got Pi Day. So every week we have all the news that's fit to Raspberry Pi. Big news. What do you think the big news of Raspberry Pi is this week? What do you think it is?
Well, it was the 2nd year anniversary.
That's right. So I keep track of market share. There are 2.5 million Raspberry Pis in the world. 2 years ago today, and that was earlier in the week, Raspberry Pi Model B went on sale, selling 100,000 units the first day. Since then, over 2.5 million Raspberry Pis have been found in homes, hobbyists, children, and professional engineers around the world.
Cool.
Incredible. And it would look like this, but more.
Yeah. Now imagine it like the size of a football field. That's how many
Yeah.
Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on with Raspberry Pi. You had a little update. There's a DMA-enabled kernel upgrade. You want to talk about what this is?
We have a new version of the Pi kernel that is works with the Pi TFT. This version is 3.10 instead of 3.6, so we upgraded the kernel, which is great. So we have the most recent Raspberry Pi Linux kernel, and the Pi TFT now uses DMA, so it uses less CPU and it's smoother. And we also put in some notes about how to you can actually overclock the display up to like a ridiculous 64 megahertz,
Really?
and it works pretty much fine. You can get like 25 frames per second. It looks really good, and DMA helps that a little bit because the CPU is less involved. So check it out.
All right, next up, definitely go to the site for this one, but the Pi Foundation and Broadcom has
Broderbund.
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
they're doing a $10,000 bounty. You looked at this a little bit, right?
I did. So they released the thing is about this chip is that it's a GPU. It's not really it's a CPU, but it's actually meant to be a GPU. And the really cool thing about the chip is how good it is at video, which is why it can basically stream, even though it's not a very fast chip, it can stream HDMI video in like 1080p without any difficulty at all. But you need to have access to a lot of like the video core in order to do a lot of this high speed stuff. And so the foundation has been slowly adding HDMI optimized like video playing, like OMX player, I think, and then X11 is also speeded up. But they've released more lately, the blob that does the video control. So you can actually do, they want to do Doom 3, I think.
Yeah,
is
that's one of the
or
things
Quake.
that you have to do,
Oh man,
yeah.
I can't remember. Like I don't remember which one they wanted. Maybe it's Quake. Quake 3 that they wanted ported to this new open sourced GPU framework that they've released, so that people can actually do something as power hungry as Quake on something as weak as like a Pentium 120 or whatever, or 200, whatever the comparable speed is. So. GPS should be able to do it. They think a lot of people want to play Quake. I'd like to do some fragging, so get on it. I'm busy. I'm not going to do it. I'm also not very good at GPU hacking, as you can tell. Because
so
I'm
good
not.
luck. I hope someone in the Adafruit community wins this $10,000 bounty. And you know, the idea of a bounty works out.
That's cool. I like that. I like that they're like, we're going to put our money, it's like they make money by selling Pis and Pi accessories, and now they're going to put it back into, they're going to show, like, here's why you want to buy a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. It's because we put money back into the community to get, because I know they've been working on Scratch, to optimize Scratch. Yeah. And X11 and XBMC.
There's 2.5 million Pis. That means Broadcom probably has a lot of sales because some engineer somewhere decided to use it in a product, and they said, you know what, we're going to, like, that'll be our reference design, but we'll optimize just for our
by
devices.
the way, Broadcom is the most open source company. Like they're not historically. They've been extremely resistant to even releasing data sheets or selling chips to consumers. So this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's working out. And you know what? Every company is paying attention. TI has the BeagleBone, fully open source. Atmel jumped in with Arduino. So, you know, if you've got a processor and a dev board, there's no going back to the old days where it was expensive and proprietary.
Nope. Now you have to release it.
Yeah.
You have to release as much documentation as possible.
Oriented.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go off into new products, the code is CyberGoth, 10% off in the Adafruit store. Play data. It's new product time.
Okay.
All right. First up.
Books. Why don't you do the books while I get the new products?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about these books. We have a few. This is Hacking Raspberry Pi. Highly recommended by lots of people. The books that we stock, there's a lot of books that we could stock, but we usually talk to the authors, we talk to the publishers, we talk to people who've already bought the book. That's why we usually don't put them in first, we wait a little bit. Yeah. So, Hacking Raspberry Pi.
Here's why I like this model of books. So this book, it has like color photos and diagrams, which is really, really nice. It covers pretty much all the projects most people want to do. Like there's a little bit of hardware, there's like setting up the Pi camera, there's like setting up a server, XBMC, like Scratch, all that stuff, you know, using command line and stuff. So this is, I thought it was a very good book, so I added it.
Yeah. Next up, Arduino for Beginners.
This is, yeah, this is the book. So this book is also has really nice color diagrams, which I really like.
Yep.
Fritzing images and such, and photos.
Yep.
So I thought that that's kind of nice. If you're gonna have a book nowadays, I think you have to put in a little bit more effort than just, you know, like a black and white drawing or line drawing. So this is a very, very nice book. And it's by John Vital, who is a Make community member.
Yep. And also, this is the one I was looking forward to. This is Beginning NFC, only because I don't know Don, but I do know Tom Igo and Brian Jepson.
You know Tom Igo,
And
he's Arduino member.
They're fantastic. Tom Igo is one of the founding members of Arduino. Brian
That's right.
Jepson, senior editor at Maker Media, and they spent a long time on this book. This is the book for NFC. So we got it.
Check it out. This has been like many, many years in the work. It covers our NFC Shield and Breakout. So if you want more than just our online tutorials, check out this book.
Adafruit stuff in there. They chose the Adafruit stuff because it was easy for them to write about and use.
And it's the only working NFC stuff out there.
Yeah. Next up, Adventures in Raspberry Pi. This is another one. It comes with awesome projects. I like this book because it was project oriented. And the other cool thing.
Color photos again. I love the color photos. If you want me to carry your book, Color Diagrams is it. This is a very well-written book for younger people. Covers Scratch, Minecraft, setting up your Raspberry Pi.
And this was
Python.
another one that was recommended not only by the authors, the publishers, the reviews that we saw, but kids. So, all right. Next up,
Nice
Lady
job,
Ada.
Carrie Ann.
Speakers.
Okay, now I can finally.
Now you can do your thing.
I can do my thing.
I feel like this is now your turn.
Okay, so these are little speakers, and we have speakers in the store, but I really like these because they're ported enclosed speakers, so you can see that they're in a casing, and that casing they're quite small, but they have nice mounting holes. They come with wires pre-attached. You can mount them really easily, but you can see they're encased, and so that actually lets you put it into, like, if you're not able to build an enclosure, it's kind of hard to get good response from a speaker. It needs to be ported. I mean, these are not going to be like super high fidelity speakers, but they're going to sound better than if you just had a speaker just kind of floating around. I think they're thin enough to do wearables with, and all of our speaker drivers will drive them.
That's
and
important.
they're lovely. They're this small, so
Yeah.
they're not even that big.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a little port. They're 4 ohm, 3 watt speakers, so perfect for use with any of our amplifiers. We have 3 different amplifiers that will drive these speakers quite
I like
nicely.
how you did it. You made the best amp boards, and then you got the best speakers that can go along with them. Good work, Lady Ada.
Thank you.
Nice job. Okay, next up. Maybe I'll skip around a little bit.
Oh, these also work really good with our 7 and 10 and other inch audio HDMI drivers. The HDMI screen drivers also have audio built in. These plug in perfectly.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
I'm not going to skip around. I'm just going to keep going the order these came in because we just got to keep jamming.
Okay.
People asked for it. We did it. This is the Qualia board standalone.
This is just the driver board for the Qualia. So this allows you to plug in an iPad 3 or iPad 4 display. I mean, this is the display used in the iPad 3 or 4, the LP097QX1. This is just the driver board. You can you give it 9 to 12 volts DC basically, and you can plug in the Retina display. I don't suggest this for people because the connector that you connect the little connector like right here. The little thin one that you connect to the display itself is really, 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 really delicate.
I'll tell you if you should get this. If you've already taken apart an iPad and put it back together, if you're someone who has like the iFixit tools
if
and
you're
stuff
just
like
like
that,
if you're like super like good and you feel like you're careful.
Kyle and you're the CEO of iFixit.
If you're very comfortable with delicate electronics, because this is a very, very delicate connector. Like really, people don't say, they say, oh yeah, I bet it's delicate, but then they're like, oh my god, I just broke it. So this is, the reason that we offered the kit first is because we assemble it and then we close it and we connect it, so it's and then we test it, so it's good. With this, it's at your own risk because we're not going to fix it. It's not fixable once it's broken.
This is the kit that we sell. This is the Qualia display that we make, and this is the full. It's the only DIY monitor kit that I know of. And it's stunning, and this is what it looks like when it's all together.
It's a beautiful 2000 by 1500 pixel display. Uses a DisplayPort. Works great on any Mac or Windows or Linux computer that has DisplayPort on the motherboard. Every Mac does, so we suggest Mac users.
I guess I'm going to skip around. So because we have the driver board,
we also have.
Saying, do you have a screen? Yes,
we have the screen too. This is a new screen. It's actually from LG. It's a new LP097QX1, that 2000 by 1500
Also known as Retina display.
Retina display, using the iPad 3 and 4. It's a lovely screen. It's got a screen protector on it. It is brand new. It works great with the driver. So if you are getting the driver, you may want the screen. But again, if you're not super comfortable with this very delicate connector, I suggest you get the kit. Please get the kit.
Yep.
It'll save you a lot of tears because you can't fix the connector once it's broken.
You can be hardcore all you want, but no refunds.
I broke 3 before I figured it
this
out.
one. We had to put something on screen like, don't break this and say I broke it. So next up, we added probably one of the best low-cost 3D printers out there. We spent a long time. This is the PrinterBot, the 2014 one. This is also for experts. I should say this, and we put this on the screen.
It's a kit.
It's a kit. You assemble it. It's one of the more open source 3D printer kits out there. Our resident expert, Matt Griffin, who was at MakerBot and also writing 3D printing books and has selected a lot of the printers that we have here, said this is the best one. We had Brooke, who the CEO and founder of the company, out, and this is the one to get. So
it's simple. It's a kit, but if you want to get into building your own printer, a 3D printer, and it doesn't have a big build volume. It looks like about 3 inches by 3 inches by 2 inches, or 3 inches or so. But you can build small stuff. You can still print some of our wearable projects. I'm assuming you can print NinjaFlex with it. You can definitely print PLA with it, right?
Yeah.
PLA.
Well, and you know, here's the thing. So I'm just going to say it. So you got to look at the camera. So everybody asked for an open source hardware 3D printer, and we delivered. We got the TazBot. That one is FSF certified, which is the hardcore open source thing. And then
Stallman uses it.
Yeah. And then everyone said, well, I really want a 3D printer that's under $350. And if you have that, I would buy that. Well, this is under $350. So the PrinterBot is $349. So I don't know what more you want now, folks. Like, we did it. This is really hard.
They want love and acceptance, but we can't quite sell that yet. So instead, we have 3D printers.
The love and acceptance is coming in. We have to freight it in.
It's stuck in customs.
It's stuck in customs. And
that's right.
It takes a while.
Love and acceptance now made in Taiwan.
So okay, next up. We have a couple more products, and then that's it.
Okay, we got these demos. All right, so this is the compass sensor that I talked about earlier. This is a triple-axis compass magnet. It's like magnetometer, but it's used for compass sensing. It's I2C. It's a very low-cost sensor. This is like $10 for the breakout board. It's 5-volt safe. We put in extra circuitry on there so you can use it with an Arduino. And I have a demo showing it off. So let us go to overhead.
Okay.
I can show this guy. Okay, so this is the sensor here, and this is a breakout connector to my Arduino, and then I've got this little LCD, which I will hold here, and as you see, if I twist it, it can tell me where north is, which is about there, which is true. That's uptown.
That is true.
That's true. It's uptown Manhattan. So you can tell what the heading is, and 0 is north, and then, you know, whoa. Then I reset. Hold on. Oh, wait. Live demo. Okay. Second. We're back. So yeah, you can twist it around. So this is a compass sensor. So yeah, it can tell you which way is north. The deal is it doesn't have an accelerometer built into it. And not having an accelerometer means it can't tell if it's tilted. So this works really well. The code that we have, for example, is assuming that it's flat to the ground like this. It's flat to the earth. If you tilt it up, however, it does not sense as well because it doesn't know that it's tilted. Okay. So for that, you want a tilt-compensated accelerometer magnetometer, which we do have in the store. It's the LSM 303, which we have in the shop and works very well. It's a little bit more expensive, though. So if you're in a situation where you can make sure, like if you have a robot, and you know the robot's like it's driving flat, then you can put the magnetometer on the body of the robot, and you know that it's not going to be like tilting up and down, and that way you can tell which way is north. Or if you're using this in wearables, you know that the person's going to be standing upright, so you put it on like their chest or their back, and that way you can tell which way is north without having to do the tilt compensation for if the magnetometer is twisting in space. The magnetometers can't do that, so it's a trade-off. Yeah. If you don't need tilt compensation, $10, you get a great magnetometer, and you can tell which way north is, which is about over there. Yeah.
Okay, next up.
Yeah, there you go.
Apparently my batteries are dying.
Okay.
Not me personally.
Really? Okay.
No, I'm okay. Everything's okay.
Right.
My mic batteries are also kind of going down a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it happens.
All right, so I'm getting rid of this demo.
Yeah, all right. And then last but not least, this is, I think, the bigger demo of the evening.
Hold on, I gotta get my demo going. Can you talk about this thing?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this thing. Well, first I'll zoom into the photo because this is a nice photo. I like this.
Yeah, this is a nice photo. So this is we have two different Melexis temperature sensors. And these are kind of neat. We actually have a non-contact temperature sensor already in the shop.
We're selling Sputnik now or something. What is this thing?
I know, it looks like huge. This is a sensor that uses, it detects IR coming off of a device, it's a device that has an IR sensor in it that can detect IR waves coming off of an object, and so it can detect the temperature of an object, and the object doesn't have to touch. So other temperature sensors we have, such as the one-wire DS18P20s and family, and the TMP36s, and other assorted friendly sensors, they have to be touching the object. They're measuring the object, the chip itself. This is measuring the temperature of something it's pointed at, which is different. Which means that it can measure extremely hot and extremely cold things that are outside the range, which is really nice. It can also measure the average temperature of an area because it has a field of view about 90 degrees, so there's like a cone. We've seen these used in a lot of projects, like if you want to, if you go to like the doctor's office and they just point a thing and they click it and they're like, oh, we know what your body temperature is, and you're like, how'd you do that? You didn't even touch me. They're using probably this sensor.
Really?
This is a really high-end sensor. This is used for medical equipment a lot. They have a medical version even that's higher precision, but most people don't.
We can get like retina displays, medical equipment. This is crazy. 2014 is awesome.
Yes, this is a cool sensor, and what's neat is it's got this metal can which protects it because it's meant to be able to measure up to 1,000 degrees C. So you can use it for like, if you're like making your own reflow oven, you can point at the circuit board and it'll tell you the temperature of your circuit board.
I wish you had some demo with something cold though, because like, I don't know,
you don't trust me?
I mean, I kind of believe you.
Okay, anyway, so it's a 4-pin sensor, so it's I2C, and you can power either with 3 volts or 5 volts. There's 2 versions. So pick the right one because it's calibrated to the whatever temperature for that voltage. So if you're using an Arduino, get the 5-volt version. If you're using like a Gemma or like a Flora or like an MSP430, you want the 3-volt version. So just pick the right one, same price.
You don't have a demo you can show?
No,
or
I do
anything?
have a demo.
Oh.
Let's go to the demo.
Oh, look, you have a demo ready to go.
Okay, so I got my demo ready to go. So here's that sensor, and there's a lot of wires going on here, but it's pretty harmless. It's you need it comes with 2 I2C pull-up resistors. You'll need those because it doesn't have them built in. And right now it's just measuring like the ambient temperature. And you notice that the ambient temperature and the object temperature are the same. But if I get a tasty treat.
Oh, you have a popsicle.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I need a treat because I'm doing a show. Yeah. So we have this very cold treat that I got, and I can measure how cold it is. So you go like this by holding it in front, and it's like, oh, the ambient temperature, the temperature of the sensor is still around room temperature, but the temperature of the popsicle is like 6 degrees or so. 10 degrees. It's going to melt soon because I've had it out for a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can see it can measure.
Oh, I understand how it works now.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, measure like the ambient air.
That's helpful because who cares about the object temperature sometimes, and who cares about the you get to get the data you want.
Yeah, you get both, so you can tell like how cold something is,
right.
And how warm the area is. Actually, you need to have both usually to tell like, okay, like is the object temperature that much different than
is it heating up and getting cold, or is the outside the other object getting hot or cold?
Okay.
All right.
Orange flavor. Okay, so that's the demo. So these are pretty easy to use sensors. We've got example code, tutorial, library, popsicles. I can't download popsicles, but you can download unlearn.adafruit.com tutorials for all of these lovely items.
Okay. And with that, Lady Ada, is new products. Good work.
Okay.
You did a great job. Okay, gonna race through a couple more things. Just a reminder, folks, CyberGoth is a code, 10% off everything you saw that was in stock. You know what went really fast? The printer bots. We only have one left.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, get the last one for 10% off.
You know what? These folks didn't let me down. The open source 3D printer thing, I thought they were gonna move a little faster, the TAS bots. People are buying them, but the $350 3D printers, you know what? Matt called it. He said this is going to be the one that moves. So we're gonna have to place a new order tomorrow.
Okay. You want $300, $350? Well, yeah, with the discount code and free shipping, it's basically $300.
It's not a great deal for us, but it's a great deal for the people out here. Okay. One quick thing we're going to show is a preview of here's it's not out yet. Don't ask. We have another page from the Adafruit coloring book. This is Z. Z is for Z-axis.
Look, we couldn't think of anything else that Z stands for.
Z is pretty hard.
But Z for Z-axis for 3D printers.
Yeah. And then one last thing. Here's a quick video that we did. It's not out yet, don't ask. Here is a new product. What are you doing?
Calibrating my electrodes with a person. No, not really. But this is a copper brick that acts like the capacitive load of a person.
So instead of a person, you have a copper.
And it looks like a person.
Yeah, a little person.
Hi.
Okay. And so what happens once you do this?
Well, this is allowing me to calibrate the electrodes for this gesture sensor without having to hold my hand still for 5 minutes.
Oh, and then this is the interface here.
Yeah, I gotta start measurement.
Okay. And then this is your little person.
Hi.
Okay.
And then I remove it and take another measurement.
Okay.
A lot of measurements.
All right, so this is the new product that you're working on?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Lady Ada. Okay.
I'm gonna replace you with a copper sphere soon, by the way. So.
Yeah. It's not that hard. I only have a few last things I need to do, and then I can be replaced by a copper sphere. As long as it can turn knobs, then you can do that.
Yeah, for the audio. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's it.
that's the show for tonight. We're going to do our, we just ran out of time. So we'll leave more time next week for questions. We're trying to answer some questions at the beginning, but some folks had some. Let's do the giveaway.
Yeah.
This is a trivia question.
Okay.
Lady Ada, what are the rules?
If you've won a prize from a trivia question, you can't enter again. Only one winner per lifetime. First person to type in the correct answer in the chat, either YouTube chat or the Ustream chat, whichever one we see first, is the winner.
What are we giving away?
You're gonna get a wonderful triple-axis compass
This thing?
module. That thing.
That thing. Okay.
You want that, right?
All right. The question is, and the first person I see to type it in the chat, either on YouTube or on Ustream, what is the part number? Not the Adafruit part number.
What's the component
The component.
on this?
What is it?
You want it, so you know what the part number is.
The answer is not 1. So let's see who gets to it first. Do.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
If you want the sensor, you've had me researching it.
Yeah.
You're like, you know.
It's not Zener. It's not PrintBot. Let's see who gets it. It's not Fnord. Let's see who gets it. Do. Racing. You could go to adafruit.com and look at new products.
Part number.
Oh, Abhishek-J. You got it.
That's close enough. TR is actually for tape and reel, but I'll take that answer.
Yeah, congratulations. Email support@adafruit.com. You won.
You won.
Yay. So congratulations.
You get the HMC 583.
If you didn't win, that's still okay. You can use the code CyberGoth and get 10% off in the Adafruit store.
Yes.
Where we're all winners.
Okay.
So.
I'm getting to the part where the popsicles are falling apart.
Yeah. Okay, that is our show for this week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone in the show and tell. Thank you, all the Adafruit staff members who help out, not only here every day, but also tune in. There's people who go home and then watch the show.
Aww.
Yeah. Becky was watching the show the other week, and we were still shipping, and she's like, I feel like I'm still there because I can hear the beeping of the barcode scanners.
We had to catch up on shipping.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting Adafruit all these years and times. Things are moving fast. We have some cool new products coming up next week. We've got some exciting things that we'll be releasing in the next few days, weeks, months. We're excited to share it.
We have something cool to show every week, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and don't forget, we still have the Bitcoin thing going on. We still got the free deals.
Discounts,
and,
printer bots.
Yeah. And we have this cat. We're going to go see this cat soon.
Yeah, we're going to see this cat's waiting for us. He looks like that when we get in the door.
We'll see everyone next week.
Judging us. Why are we not there rubbing his belly?
Here
right now?
is your moment of Zener.